music that you can hear in the background is the late great Belgian-French jazz guitarist Django Reinhardt. Django was the founder of a style of guitar-based jazz named Gypsy Jazz, after its French gypsy origins. In a sleepy little town called Cloughjordon in the south of Ireland, a Gypsy Jazz Festival is taking place, which is now in its third year. This programme is an insight into the Gypsy Jazz Festival, nicknamed Cloughtoberfest, due to its falling in the month of October and its location in Cloughjordon, Tipperary. I will be interviewing its visiting international musicians, playing some of their live recordings, and there's even an interview with RTE TV star Francis Brennan. I'm starting this programme with an interview with the festival's founder and organiser, Lilly De Sylva, who almost single-handedly puts this festival together every year. Lilly De Sylva, we're on the eve of the third Cloughtoberfest festival. What can we expect from you?
The festival? Well, more of the same that you've seen for the last couple of years. It's a music-based festival. We're looking to have the highest calibre of performers that we can possibly afford. And so who we've brought to you this year is a bit of variety. It's not pure gypsy performers this year. We've got some high-profile international names. We're kicking off on Friday night with Frank Vignola and his companion Vinnie Raniolo, who are very well known throughout jazz circles, not just gypsy jazz, as being a real virtuoso player. Frank would have trained and toured a lot in his younger days with Les Paul, bless him, when he was still alive, and he's recognised as being one of the greatest practitioners of the guitar. They play in all sorts of styles, all kinds of popular tunes that people would be very familiar with, from classical pieces through to pop songs, but all done in this gypsy style. Lots of medleys and very entertaining. They're kind of vaudevillians, these two guys. They clown around together a lot on stage.
A few jokes thrown in between.
They have, and they make a great relationship with the audience, which is great because we've moved venue this year and we're going to be in the ballroom at Cloughjordon House, which is a lovely intimate venue, so the guys won't be up on the stage. They'll actually be right down with you. They're playing in front of the big ancient fireplace and everyone's going to be sat in a circle around them, and they'll come out into the audience and you'll be very, very involved in the performance. So they should set things off and get everyone into the festival spirit.
Has that night been sold out, has it?
Not quite, no. There's still a handful of tickets left, but not many. The evening performances are almost sold out. There's maybe a dozen tickets left for each one. So online bookings are still open. I'll be closing them on Friday morning, so otherwise it will be first come, first served on the door, because obviously for safety reasons we can only let a certain number of people into the venue.
And who do we have on the Saturday and the Sunday? So
Saturday we always kick off around lunchtime. So this is just purely for concerts we'll go through, because there's other activities too.
I believe Manouche are playing on the Saturday, Lily.
Yeah, they kick off the Saturday concerts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the ballroom at Cloughjordon House again. And then after that, from 4 till 6, we have a band from the UK, although their lead singer is actually from France, and that's Petit Annonce. They're from the south of England, and they're a gypsy queen. J.P. Girardin is the leader of the band. So he plays rhythm guitar and does vocals. They don't just do gypsy jazz, they do a lot of the well-known gypsy jazz standards, but they also do French chanson. So a lot of very humorous songs. J.P. sings in French, he's got this wonderful accent, and they've got a lot of humour. They call their style punk manouche. Punk manouche.
If there's such a thing, but yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to come and see for yourself, but I would say there definitely is. They're a little bit different. So again, not standard, but exceptional players. Steve Laning and Pete Nicholson, who are the guitarists, are just wonderful lead players, and they would share kind of lead duties between them, and really, really beautiful melodies coming from those guys. And then we get a break for everyone to eat, and our closing concert is the All Stars concert, and that's something that's become a bit of a tradition here, that instead of paying big money to have just one band over from one country, what we like to do is we like to mix up musicians from different bands in different countries, get Irish musicians guesting with them, and they'll put together a scratch band. And that worked very well last year. We did it with a very famous violin player called Tim Kliphaus and a Sinti guitarist called Paula Schaffer, and they played with a couple of well-known Irish musicians and put together a band. They met the day before the concert, they rehearsed a set, and so it was very fresh. So we decided to do that again, and this year we've got a very well-known young guitarist from Finland, Olli Soikali, and Dennis Chang, who's Taiwanese but now living in French Canada.
And Vinny Raniola.
Okay, Frank, welcome to Ireland.
Pleasure to be here.
How was your trip?
So far, so good. This is day 15. We started in Belfast a few weeks ago at the Ireland.This Guitar Festival. And then we went through Germany and Italy and Holland. We made our debut in Amsterdam, which was a big thrill for us. Then we were in the Tyne region of England, and then we flew up today into Dublin and drove up to this beautiful, beautiful venue for the festival.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We're in Cloughjordon House at the moment, in the ballroom, the old period house in Cloughjordon. Fantastic acoustics. We've got a 120 seat capacity tonight, so we're expecting a sellout show, hopefully, Frank.
Well, that would be great. The room is perfect for guitar music, especially Django's music. You know, it's not a big stage, a very intimate setting, not a lot of big sound systems, so I think the acoustic instruments will really be heard tonight.
So what's the plan for tonight? Will you be playing some Django tonight?
Oh, absolutely. Well, the first half, Vinny Raniola and I will play some of our material. We tour 200 days a year, so we have a lot of great material. And then Olli Soikali's here from Finland, Dennis Chang from Toronto.
Yep.
And a few other people who I haven't met. So the second half we'll jam on a bunch of Django tunes.
Is this your own compositions, or do you sort of
No,
improvise?
we play just famous songs, great melodies. That's what I really like to.
You have an association with Les Paul. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, I met Les in 1987, I think. He had just emerged from retirement. And he started playing again with a trio down in Greenwich Village in New York City every Monday night. And I went down to meet him. And he was so gracious. He said, "Oh, you play guitar?" I was 19 at the time. And we had dinner together. He had me sit in. And that night at 3 o'clock in the morning, the phone rings. It's Les Paul, because he was a late night kind of guy. So, we befriended each other for almost 30 years. It's been 4 years since he passed away.
Yeah.
And then in the year 2000, he got sick. So he called me to fill in for him. You know, they didn't think he was going to make it. Actually, he was in the hospital for about 6 weeks.
Oh dear.
But he was a strong man. And he got out, and he called me up. He said, "Why don't you stay on with me?" You know. So every Monday I got to play and work with Les and hear his stories about Django, because he, you know, they were dear friends.
Yeah, yeah.
And when Les was going to bring Django to America to tour with Les Paul and Mary Ford, and they were big stars. You know, I mean, they were at the top of the pop charts. So that would have been an amazing thing for Django in America. But he passed away. So Les, knowing that Django had nothing, he was a gypsy, he would make $5,000 and spend it in one night. Probably had a great time, I must say.
Yeah. A proper musician.
Right. So Les collected all the royalties that were owed to the family and paid for Django's funeral. And gave the rest of the money to Najine, Django's wife, and Babik, Django's son. And I remember, you know, I always thought, wow, the story, you know, stories, they get more and more elaborate, you know. But then I met Babik. We did a Django festival in New York City, and Babik, Django's son, was one of the guests. And he told me the same exact story as Les. And when they saw each other, it was like they started crying and hugging each other. I was like, wow. So, you know, I mean, not only the amount I learned from Les as far as entertaining and playing a melody, sound, rehearsing, the whole thing, professionalism, but that direct connection to Django, I think, was the big thing for me. You know, being a guitar geek and a fan of Django and Les and all the great jazz guitar players.
And do you play Les Paul guitars at all?
No, I don't play Les Paul guitars. I always hoped he'd give me one, but never came through with that. But that's okay.
Can you tell me a bit about your association with your partner that you're here with?
Vinny Raniolo, I met him about 8 years ago.
Okay.
He was 21 at the time, and he auditioned for me on a recording I was doing where I needed an electric bass player.
Okay.
So I first heard him as an electric bass player. I didn't even know he played guitar. And then I heard him pick up a guitar and started to play, and I said, wow, the guy's really a guitar player and pretty amazing. So we worked together ever since then, and we started with a 5-piece band, and then we ended up as a duo.
Okay,
for the last 4 years.
It's just a lot easier.
Well, a couple of reasons. You know, it was easier, and the better, you know, we got as a, you know, as the core of the group, the two guitars, the more we grew, the more we went on the road. People didn't want to go on the road so much. And then finally the bass player left, and we said, well, let's try it as a duo. And we went out there, and it worked great. People liked it more than the 5-piece band.
It's probably easier to travel as well.
Well, that's the whole other side of it. I mean, I wasn't really thinking about that at the time. It was just, you know, I was looking at the audience reaction. I'm like, wow. And then Vinny really started to come into his own.
Yeah.
You know, which was great to see, because he's an amazing guitar player who is so dedicated, you know, to the art form.
Of course, yeah. And you two guys really thrive on playing live music.
Yeah, we travel so much, you know. I mean, not as much as Tommy Emmanuel, but I think we're second in line to as far as touring, you know. So, but it's great to travel around the world and play the music for the people. We have great arrangements. You know, and we have a lot of fun.
And wherever you go, you make new friends. And
absolutely, like,
of course,
yeah. I mean, it's amazing. You know, and on this trip, we got to see so many friends. You know, down in Italy and Germany, and go over their houses for dinner, and made new friends in Holland, down in Bourne. So yeah, it's great. We're gonna, actually, some people we know from Glasgow are coming tonight.
Oh, right, to the Cloughtober Festival.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And what do you think of the Cloughtober Festival, what the Lilly De Sylva runs every year?
Well, I just got here a little while ago. I mean, the venue is perfect for it. The sound's going to be awesome, and let's hope the people show up, because this is, you know, music brings people together, and here is a great example of it, you know, of music bringing people together into a little town. In a beautiful setting. I mean, if you can't have fun here, I don't think you're capable of having fun, you know.
On that note then, Frank, I'd like to end this, but thanks very much for the interview.
You're welcome.
And,
Thank you
you're
for
always
asking.
welcome in Ireland.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. That was the excellent Frank Vignola. My next interview is with Cloughtober from the UK-based band Petite Annonce.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Ça va?
Fine, ça va bien, merci.
Ça va bien, merci. Welcome to Ireland and welcome
you.
to the Cloughjordon Festival. Is this the first time you've been here?
Yeah, I'm a first timer. Yes.
Yeah, you're looking forward to it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's a great experience, great occasion as well.
Of course it is.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Are you here with the full band?
Just the three of us.
Yeah.
Just the three of us. One of us couldn't make it, but we.
And how is the music scene on the south coast?
It's quite live actually, quite brilliant. Yeah, got a lot of place, not enough venue for the style, but there's a lot of bands in many style all over the place. Bournemouth is really live.
Bournemouth, yeah.
Yeah. But Bristol as well.
And you're getting regular live gigs?
Yeah. We do a lot of pride party more, but this year we had a lot of proper public gig, which is good for us. You know, we. I mean, playing a wedding or pride party is good, but no one ever listening or participate or being attentive at what happens. Especially we do French songs as well. I was used to play in punk and rock band in Paris and turned up to Django, hence the punk manouche thing.
Plastic Bertrand.
Yeah, well, saying he's a punk is a bit an insult to the whole punk movement.
Is the only French punk band I remember at the time? So.
Yeah, well, it was pretty famous. It's a good laugh.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a good laugh. But yeah, and in Paris I met Sanseverino.
Okay.
Before he became Sanseverino, the Sanseverino we all know now today. And he was playing with his band called Les Voleurs de Poules, Chicken Thieves.
Chicken Thieves, yeah.
Yeah, it's already really influenced by Django and the gypsy scene and all. And he turned me back to Django easily, you know, in a few moments like that. And so I digged out, and that's how I put up that band in England. So I really wanted to play and do something more with my guitar, rather than yelling into a mic.
Yeah. And what sort of age did you take up guitar?
It's a very special one, actually.
Yeah.
It's a very special one. It's been made by a young luthier from London called Alex Bishop.
Alex Bishop.
When I say young, he's 26 years old.
26.
He made me the most beautiful guitar ever. So if you get there tomorrow, you will be able to see
I'll
it.
be there. I'll be there tomorrow. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it very much. So, yeah. And when did you stop playing guitar?
I've never stopped really. I think I was better singer in the punk band than I was guitarist, so that's why I didn't play at that time.
So are you self-taught? You sort of started off with
definitely.
minimal chords.
Yeah. By friends, books, videos, things like that, you know, and going to workshop. I mean, that was the best thing I did, actually, going to workshop for the Gypsy Jazz.
Yeah.
It was just brilliant. You learn so much by just watching someone and talking to someone. It's way better than 100 books or whatever.
Of course, yeah. And will you be doing any jamming with the musicians while you're here?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's the big thing about the Cloughtoberfest. Everyone joins in with each other.
All about Gypsy Jazz in general. I mean, the jam is really, really important. Yeah, I'm not in my bed yet.
No. The night is young, as they say. I don't know how to say that in French. Listen, well, thanks very much for the interview.
You're very welcome.
I'm looking
Thanks
forward
for
to
that.
the gig tomorrow. I'm going to do some recording as well.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Pendant que le bricoleur faisait en amateur des mondes atomiques, sans jamais rien avoir appris, c'était un vrai génie, question de travaux pratiques. Il s'enfermait toute la journée au fond de son atelier pour faire ses expériences. Et quand il rentrait le soir, il nous racontait tout, il nous mettait en transe. Pour faire une bombe à mes enfants, croyez-moi, c'est vraiment de la tarte. La question du détonateur se résout en un quart d'heure, c'est de celle qu'on écarte. Pour faire une bombage, c'est pas beaucoup plus vaste, mais une chose me tourmente. C'est que celle de ma fabrication n'a qu'un rayon d'action de 3,50 m. Il y a quelque chose qui cloche là-dedans. J'y retourne immédiatement. Ciao. Pendant des jours, tâchant avec amour d'améliorer le modèle. Quand il déjeunait avec nous, il avalait un coup, ça se pouvait vermicelle. On voyait à son air féroce qu'il tombait sur un os, mais on n'osait rien dire. Et puis un soir pendant le repas, la montre qui soupire, il s'écrit comme ça. mesure que je deviens vieux, je m'en aperçois mieux, j'ai le cerveau qui flanche. Soyons sérieux, disons le mot, c'est même plus un cerveau, c'est comme de la sauce blanche. Voilà des mois et des années que j'essaie d'augmenter la portée de ma bombe. Et je ne me suis même pas rendu compte que la seule chose qui compte, c'est dans le rose qu'elle tombe. Y'a honte devant ce résultat, ne se dégonfle pas, il joue à des andouilles. Au tribunal, on l'a traîné, et devant les jurés, le voilà qui bafouille. Messieurs, c'est un hasard affreux, mais je jure devant Dieu, comme on a mis conscience. En détruisant toutes ces tordues, je suis bien convaincu d'avoir servi la France. On était dans l'embarras, alors on condamna, et puis on l'amnistia. La nation reconnaissante est lui immédiatement chef du gouvernement. Oh yeah.
Hi Frank, what are you doing at Cloughjordon House?
Well, there's a concert here tonight in connection with the festival that's on over the weekend, and we have been doing a programme for At Your Service, Series 7, on the Eco-Village.
Eco-Village, okay.
So kind of the two dovetailed kind of together, and we just thought we'd finish up this weekend with a bit of excitement here. So that's the plan. The plan.
Yeah, this is an annual event run by Lilly De Sylva. I suppose you know that she's partner to Power.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and she's very, she's commended, to be very much commended, because it's a big undertaking. And she brings in international stars. So it's a terrific thing for the town. So I hope they understand that a lot of work went into it and that they need to support. Right.
She does an awful lot of work. She actually does the airport runs. She's just come back with the two guys from America, from the airport.
No, it's kind of like a mum and pop affair, I'd say, to be honest. But that's fine. A lot of things started that way. Look at Woodstock in its day. When it started first, there was only a little farm. Or Glastonbury or any of those places.
Picnic,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're all, So, it's up. But, somebody needs to step up always and start it.
Of course, yeah.
And... I was asking today, she hasn't made money yet, but she thinks she might break even this year. So, it's up to the town to support her, because it's good for her.
Excellent. Listen, Frank, thanks for your valuable time in the interview.
Not at all.
Good luck with the filming.
And good luck for the weekend here. I hope it's a great success. And make the town support it.
Oh, we will. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Frank. That was RTE's Francis Brennan from At Your Service. I conclude this programme with a post-interview with Lilly De Sylva again. I hope we've inspired you to come and check out this unique boutique festival, which will be on next October 2014. Hello again, Lilly. Festival was 2 weeks ago, very successful. What was your the highlights for yourself for the festival?
Oh, there are so many highlights, really. I mean, obviously, for me, the main focus is always the music, and the quality of the musical programme this year and the atmosphere was just so great. But again, I think I mentioned to you in the previous interview that we had a venue change, and where we were in the ballroom in Cloughjordon House was much more intimate, and the performers weren't up on a stage. And because of that, it allowed the kind of gypsy festival atmosphere that I always knew we could have to develop.
And the sound was particularly good.
The sound was fantastic. Great. Yeah, the acoustics were great, the atmosphere was great, and what happened for the first time this year is what happens at the other gypsy festivals around the world, where at the evening concerts, towards the end of the concert, the performers were going, are there any other players in the audience? Would you like to come and join us on stage? And in fact, at our finale concert on the Saturday night, the All Stars, we had two numbers, the two closing numbers, before everyone went home. We actually had 19 musicians on stage, because we had everybody that was left from any of the other bands. We had one young fellow who came here with his dad, Dave Murray, lovely kid, he's 19 years old and a very keen guitarist. And he was actually invited up on the stage on the Friday night with Frank Vignola, and he ended up guesting with 3 bands over the course of the weekend, I think. We had a crowd of youngsters that came from the north of Ireland who have a wee bluegrass band. They came on and guested with Manouche.
Cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe, that's right. Fabulous youngsters. They're kind of multi-instrumentalists. The girl plays banjo and violin, and then the 2 lads play guitar, and one of them plays bass as well.
A very interesting looking sort of electric double bass. Yeah.
It was one of those electric stick basses, which is great for travelling. I wish they all had those. Terrible trying to get a double bass on a plane. But so we had all of these guests to the festival, actual ticket holders who ended up getting up and managing to perform with their heroes, and the atmosphere was phenomenal. So that was great. I always knew that could happen, because this is what happens at the gypsy festivals in the States and in Europe, So that really added to the excitement for everyone, and people's faces were lit up. It's always a joy to see that. And I think, obviously for me, because it's the 3rd year and I've spent 3 years now trying to get the festival off the ground as a brand new concept for the area, new event. And it had actually just taken off to the degree that on the Friday night we had to turn people away from the closing concert. We actually couldn't fit everyone that wanted to buy a ticket through the door. But that was fine because the people who couldn't get in stuck around for the jams. We obviously, after the concert, once everyone migrates out to the bars, we find that we get a lot more local people come in then who can't necessarily afford a concert ticket or don't want to take the risk of coming to a concert, but they'll go and listen to the jam sessions. And we were so packed with other people, and there we did have people coming in from Nina and Ross Cray as well, you know. And the main jam session was in Grace's bar on the Saturday night, and in fact it was so packed in the end that we literally couldn't fit any more people in there, and we had to take a breakaway session up, and we managed to pack another pub, the Corner House, which is the first year that particular bar has really seen any action out of the festival, and everyone in there was delighted with the music, and it was just great to see the whole village thrived from it. There was a lot of business went around the place. You know, we had in total we had 39 people who were visiting from overseas. We had 67 people who came and visited from outside the county, as well as local people who were around. So, you know, the impact that had on the local community was just fantastic. And the atmosphere is great because everywhere you went in town, everywhere was full of people with huge big smiles on their faces. So, yeah, job done as far as I'm concerned. I was delighted.
And how do you see the festival progressing? Will there be a fourth Cloughtoberfest, and will it be in Cloughjordon next year?
Oh, that's a tricky question, Dave. I mean, I suppose the bottom line is that having gone this far and having seen the success of the event this year and the positive impact on the local community, then obviously yes, there has to be some kind of form of Cloughtoberfest next year, and it has to be happening here. Now, it's obviously one of the reasons that it worked financially this year was because of the support from the gathering, and I don't think, you know, there's been a lot of pro and con publicity over that, but I have to say from our point of view that was invaluable help to help us get up on our feet, but it won't be there next year. However, I think I can afford to reduce the costs a bit because the popularity is there now. People finally understand what the event is, but we're always going to have to keep it capped at a certain size because of the size of the venues we have and because of the capacity of accommodation that we have. And what I'll do to try and increase capacity, maybe I'll do a few other events elsewhere, or I don't know. I have to go away and do the sums and scratch my head and work that one out now.
Well, Lily, I wish you the best of luck for the future, and hopefully we will see the fourth Cloughtober Festival, hopefully in Cloughjordon. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks a million.